Occidental Hotel here in the heart of downtown Sydney, Australia, for a live podcast recording in front of a studio audience. I'm Lara Benham, and tonight we present not one, but two of Australia's most popular podcasts together on stage for the first time.
Where are they?
It's always
mean. Always one in every audience.
I will kick you out, Tim. Yes, it's the Why Smart Women Zone. Please welcome from the Why Smart Women podcast, Annie McCubbin.
Thank you. I probably shouldn't really cheer myself, should I?
Absolutely, you should cheer yourself.
Okay.
And from the Skeptic Zone, Richard Saunders.
Cheer yourself.
Thank you.
Yes. Hello, Richard.
Hello, Annie.
Hello.
Great to see you here. We should be doing this one.
Okay. I'll try that again, shall I? Hello, Richard.
Can you hear us through that?
Yes.
Good.
Actually, can you hear us anyway because of my actor's voice? That's right. Okay, good.
Do we need this?
Do we need it or can you just hear us?
Or is that better?
If you're not amplified, can anyone online be able to hear you?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, this is just specially for you people because
All right.
we love you.
You can always yell out if that's not appropriate.
Yes.
Hello, Annie. Great to see you here at the Occidental Hotel for the live podcast recording. Let's start off with Why Smart Women. What's it all about?
Why Smart Women is a podcast that I created because I was cranky.
Yes,
And that's pretty much it.
That's a good reason.
Yeah,
That's a good reason.
I was cranky at the misinformation and the general crappy marketing that's pushed at women that is not only expensive but dangerous. Ooh. So I'd already written a couple of books. I'm going to plug my books now. I'd already written a couple of books on critical thinking, which I thought I had to make critical thinking funny because most critical thinking books are written by men. Nothing, not casting aspersions on you.
I've written books,
Okay, all right, Richard. He's written books. Here we go. Origami.
Yes.
He's written books on origami. All right, okay. And anyway, as sort of an addendum to that, I thought I'm going to do a podcast that is also countering the tsunami of misinformation. That is aimed at women.
That'd be a good name for a podcast, wouldn't it? The tsunami of misinformation.
Should I
podcast.
change the name?
You should. And you're telling me that you're almost at 100 episodes?
I am at 100 episodes.
Woo.
I'm actually. Thank you. Thank you. I'm actually at 102. And today I interviewed the snarky Gherkin, who is a very good debunker of all things pseudoscientific and Nazi. We now have to include the fact that there's a Nazi presence that's infiltrating the Cooker movement. So yeah, that's me. What about you, Richard?
The Skeptic Zone podcast is, let's see.
How long now?
896 episodes.
Good Lord. 809, and have you been at the helm of all of those 896?
Yeah. I've been, the early episodes had a co-host, but I've always been the host and producer of the show.
Well, you produce it yourself, whereas I have Harrison to produce for me.
I
yes,
see.
I'm useless technically.
But I came up to your studio not long ago, about a month or two ago, and we had a very nice recording session there.
Yes, but I wasn't in charge of the recording, you note. Yes, that's right. So what prompted you to start the podcast? Crankiness or something else?
Fame, glory.
Of course, money.
Money, yeah, right. No, I have been working on other little things, like I did a video vodcast for a while about skepticism, which was like making a half-hour TV show every week. That was just too much work. And by the time I got into it seriously, it was when podcasts were really just taking off.
Yeah, you were a forerunner of the whole podcasting experience, weren't you?
It's interesting to note that there are 4 big skeptical podcasts, but that I mean they have longevity. The Skeptic's Guide to the Universe, Skeptoid, the Geologic podcast, are all older than mine and have more episodes.
Wow.
So I'm the 4th in that list. But we're all within about a year or so of each other.
And for my listeners, can you I'm sorry about the jingling. The issue
it's these.
I have ears on.
She's wearing ears. Yes.
Wearing ears. And I'm sorry
Antlers.
about the jingling. I'm wearing antlers. Anyway, Christmas antlers, because I'm in the spirit. Sorry about the table. Can you please unpack the notion of skepticism? Because I think it gets co-opted
Yes.
and repackaged
Yes.
for evil.
For evil?
Evil ends.
For evil.
Sorry?
I think it repackages cynicism.
Yes,
Cynicism.
exactly. People can't.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me once if I went to skeptical conferences and just sat around being sarcastic. I was like, and I said, that's Tim Mendham.
That's Tim Mendham.
You've confused me for Tim Mendham.
Skepticism is an open inquiry into, in our case, it's claims of the paranormal, the supernatural, things that are beyond the known laws of physics. They're investigated with an open mind. Does this claim stack up? Now, after 25 years, personally, after 25 years, I have reached, what I think are pretty firm conclusions about various claims based on my experience.
Like what?
Anything to do with psychics, for example. That's my special
We
field.
don't like psychics.
And people say, "Oh, you bloody armchair skeptics," and we'll say, "Well, okay, I've seen dozens of them in action. I analyze their readings. I'm in the middle of analyzing hours of readings right now, so I sort of know what I'm talking about."
You do know what you're
I
talking
do
about.
when it comes to this. And other people in the movement have their special fields. We have people like Ian Bryce, who's here tonight, who specializes in the physics. So if someone comes along with an engine that says runs on water or hot air or whatever, he can analyze the physics. That's his special.
Right.
We have Steve there. Hi, Steve.
Hello, Steve.
Steve Roberts from Melbourne.
Clap for Steve.
Steve Roberts specializes in UFOs, for example. He knows a lot about UFOs.
Do you fly one yourself or? Yeah.
And so people come to us and say, well, what about this? And we can say, well, from our long experience and the money on offer, it's the bar, is it? The money on offer has been on offer in one form or another.
What do you mean by the money? Can you explain for the listeners?
If someone can, in fact, there are checks flying around, I think, at the bar. We have a $100,000 prize to anyone who can prove a paranormal or supernatural claim. But James Randi, the year I was born, started this whole idea of offering money. And that was 60 years ago. So we have reached certain conclusions based on just lots of evidence, not based on us thinking, oh, I don't want psychics to be real, go away.
So why do you think in the face of this, clear mountain of evidence that, for instance, psychics are bunk, why do you think they are so enduring? Because I have friends that go to them constantly, and I want to actually lie down and die when
It's
they
a
tell
very
me that.
thing. It's hard to explain very quickly, but the best analogy I can make is if you know how a magician does a coin vanish or something, or pulls a rabbit out of the hat. If you know how it's done, then you're not tricked, right?
Yeah.
But if you don't know how it's done, you don't know the trickery, you can be completely fooled and think, did I just see what's going on? I don't know what's going on. The same thing with psychic reading. You need to know the psychology, you need to know the tricks, you need to know the interplay
The
between
hot reading,
the
the
hot
cold
reading,
reading.
the cold reading, what Susan Gerbic in the United States called motivated sitters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course, and we of course use motivated reasoning and
Yeah.
confirmation bias.
So there's
do
a
we
lot
not?
to it. There's a lot to
Yeah.
it. But that in a nutshell is, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting. All right, so are we going to introduce?
I think so. It's
Bring it
called-
on, Lara.
Here's you, Jess.
Okay, so it is time to introduce our first guest for tonight. It is pharmacist and Skeptic Zone reporter Kate Thomas.
And we should add in
Yes.
to the skeptical inquiry that we are now involved in is what Kate is currently doing. Yes.
Hello, Kate. Now let's sit you
yeah,
up
she's-
closer to this microphone.
She's tossing her Santa hat around.
Seductively.
In
Can you sit up?
a very fetching manner.
There we go. There we go. So you have to speak into that and that.
Gosh. Okay. I'm ready.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello, Kate.
Yes.
Hello, Kate.
Hello, Kate. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
It is good to see you.
It's
at
nice
the
to
Skeptics.
see you too.
What's the Kate Thomas story?
Yeah, in a nutshell, be really
a-
quick
in
and
like-
be quick,
I thought you were gonna
interesting,
tell
and
me.
funny.
Right. I'm
No pressure.
a pharmacist, and I took to TikTok about 4 months ago because I was amazed by the very sincere group of people on TikTok telling me how I can cleanse myself of parasites or detox from heavy metals, or just things that I never really knew I needed, and would just say them with such conviction. And a little bit like Annie, I just got a little bit cranky and did a debunking video, and it gained some traction. And there's nothing like positive,
And what was
affirmation to.
Absolutely. What was the debunking video on specifically?
It was our favourite Barbara O'Neill, who.
Boo!
She's my favourite. She just gives and gives, that woman. She was telling me how I could cure my sore throat by placing a raw onion on my neck.
Oh, onions! Onions are like the cure for everything, but don't eat them apparently.
Don't eat them. No, you just place them on the place. And I just, my logical mind just went, but there's so much between where the onion is and the actual sore bit, which is like back here. And anyway, so I did a video and it gained some traction. And yeah.
But she has come up with extraordinary claims. But okay, so if your child happens to be running across the fields and having some fun and accidentally treads on a rusty nail,
Fine.
You
Don't
know
worry
what?
about tetanus.
well,
No.
oh no, you have to worry about tetanus, but you don't go to the doctor. You put potatoes on their feet. Oh yes,
So vegetables are very key.
vegetables are good actually. Yes.
Only
Vegetables are
external.
multi-purposeful.
no,
She's got a great. I mean, she's the cayenne pepper cures everything. You know, you're having a heart attack, you've got no pulse, you're not breathing. Cayenne pepper, not chest compressions. I hear the emergency physician laughing over here. Not chest compressions, cayenne pepper. Anyway, so she launched my debunking
Good.
career.
And I think because I do follow you now and,
Thank you.
and say nice things and like you, I am
Thank
quite
you.
busy though, so I can't follow you all the time.
I noticed.
So don't take it personally.
It's
I
called
do.
stalking.
It's not stalking, Richard. So I really like this idea because it's one of my things that I bang on about a lot on the podcast, which is the notion of wellness. And that wellness has been co-opted by alternative medicine. And I liked what you said specifically about time. If you can just maybe unpack that a bit, because it's a very interesting and salient point, I think, about
This is
why...
one of your recent TikToks, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes, I think what you're referring to might be, I did a debunking video on a naturopath who was claiming to be able to balance your hormones through her services, and was, to your point, Annie, which was peddling this message to women that their hormones should be balanced throughout their lives, and that if your hormones aren't balanced, then you can suffer a range of different...
Because they love the word balance.
They love the word balance.
Balance is very, very prevalent in the bump, right? They love the word of hormones, balance,
energy,
And
frequency.
wellness.
You can
just generally.
sort of see how that kind of language would gain traction with people who, I guess, are looking for a fix to a really complicated problem.
Correct.
And I think that the nuance that medicine misses is it's the language. So medicine saying you're really complicated, and it's really nuanced, and common things happen commonly, so we're going to start here and then move forward in this way. Whereas the wellness industry uses really black and white language that's really captivating to people who perhaps don't want to hear, oh, that sounds really complicated, let's try this. It's like, no, I can fix your problems by managing your gut biome, or something like that.
Yeah, and I think there's so much promise.
There's a lot of promise.
There's a lot of promise. And if I've got an issue and I don't feel well, and someone's telling me that's because my hormones are unbalanced and they can fix my energy levels, and they know what it is.
And I think the other very difficult thing that happens in social media is that because we take a lot of our cues socially from America, and America, I mean, they're crazy to me. I mean, in America, basically anybody can call themselves a doctor. insofar as that you can be a doctor of chiropractic, or you can
You
be.
can be one here, can you?
Can
you?
yes.
Can you be a DC here?
Getting nods
So
from the
they're
audience.
calling themselves doctors on social media and speaking in this
Yeah.
way. It really draws people in, and I guess it doesn't sit well with me that they clearly understand that doctor is a very well respected title.
Well,
So-
it's the argument from authority. So as soon as the brain hears the word doctor, then it switches on with this person knows what they're talking about and they're going
Yes.
to fix me, right?
That's right. And the other thing that people don't seem, so the debunking video I did on this naturopath, I always get a number of comments from either side. So there's a whole bunch of people saying, thank goodness you're finally calling these people out. I'm sick of all this rubbish. And then there's a whole other bunch of people who pile on and say,
Oh, I love Barbara.
health professionals don't
Listen.
health professionals don't get on social media and rubbish other health professionals. And I'm there going,
Oh, false equivalence.
but also, so she's not a health professional. I'm a health professional. She's not a health
you
professional.
studied. She just made vague, weird promises about
Well,
onions.
But people don't. I think people don't. About onions. People, the general population, don't understand that naturopaths aren't registered. There's no governing body. There's no standard of education. There's no.
Well, they're also in chemists. My local chemist
There
has
are
a naturopath.
There can be, yes.
Yeah.
has a naturopath waiting to talk to me about my microbiome. of
No wonder
far
that.
out.
No, I mean, no wonder people are confused.
Of course they're confused.
And you could, I mean, I guess you could easily also say, I mean, it'd be fine if they stayed in their lane. But my question to you would be, then what lane is that exactly? So if they're staying in their lane and their lane is wellness and they're talking to you about lifestyle, well, we've already got registered dietitians who can talk to you about that. We've got physiotherapists who can talk to you about physical things. We've got doctors who can talk to you about diagnosing medical issues. We've got pharmacists who can do. So what lane is that? What lane are you in if you're a naturopath?
it's the certainty lane.
So don't be on that
They're
lane.
in the certainty
Well,
lane.
you make a good point because they're all over TikTok and they're all so
Certain.
certain.
And medicine, you go to a doctor and you say, I don't feel well. And so they will then look at you and go, well, at this point, I don't know what's wrong with you, but I'm going to run some tests. I'm going to run some tests, and maybe the tests come back and they're still not sure. So you're left in this sort of uncertain place, which is discomforting.
It
You
is.
go to a naturopath or some person, I don't know, whatever they do, fix your energy or something with some machine, and they go, oh, I know what's wrong with you. You've got an imbalance.
A kinesiologist, an applied kinesiologist.
An applied kinesiologist.
Is that different to being a kinesiologist?
It's different, Kate. Get
Yes,
with the
come
program.
on.
God, what's wrong with you? Call yourself a professional.
Yes, it is, yes.
So then I walk into the applied kinesiologist or the whatever, and they go, and they're nice, and they're probably warm,
Yep.
and they're going to spend time with me,
Yep.
and they're going to make a promise, and they're certain. And the human brain, it loves certainty.
And it also loves, they love connection. They also love time spent, because nobody loves a topic more than talking about themselves.
They love
And
it. We all love it.
the poor old GPs are trying to fit
Can
all
I talk
of
to you
this.
now about myself? Is that okay?
No, because I've got the microphone and I'm talking about myself. But GPs are trying to fit all of this into a 15-minute Medicare rebated appointment, whereas your naturopath can spend hours and hours with you.
Hours with
At
the
a-
onions
at a
and
cost.
yeah.
At a cost.
And the no gluten and the supplements and the no
Well,
dairy.
The supplements that I think the naturopath you were referring to earlier, and forgive me if I face this way because I'm trying to project into this one. There's a naturopath online who gives this advice, and she's sitting there in her office, and behind her
Books?
No, bottles.
Bottles.
Bottles. Endless bottles of who knows what, eye of Newton, toad of frog, and what is it, whatever it is. And you made the great point on your TikTok, but they not only can tell you what's wrong with you, but they can prescribe on the spot and sell you the fix.
Yeah,
The
they can
fix.
sell you the fix.
which is appealing, right? If you don't feel well.
Well, is it though? So we've spent a really, really long time in this country separating the fact that doctors can prescribe something but can't get any kickback from any kind of treatment that they're prescribing.
That's right.
However,
But if for somebody who is ill, who is not exposed to any of the sort of debunking, you walk in and they say to you, you're going to feel better. And of course, it's all, health is scary.
yeah, and people I think are genuinely trying to do that. people are trying to do the best for themselves. People are trying to do their best. They're just vulnerable.
Very vulnerable.
And then, to my mind, being taken advantage of.
Well, they are.
So have you had, apart from the comments, and I've seen those comments about when you were talking about the naturopath, have you had much negative blowback?
So I would say overwhelmingly, people are very positive to me. And I wonder if it's because you tend to engage with things that confirm what you like and what you know, and you find your own people on the internet. So I wonder if it's people see me now and they go, oh, that's right, I don't agree with her. I don't even, I'm not bothered to.
So she's in the algorithm bubble. Is that
Possibly.
Is that what that is?
I don't know.
Possibly.
I don't know.
Because I would say mostly either that or I'm just not aware enough to notice all these negative comments. But I would say overwhelmingly people have been very positive towards
Well,
it.
that's nothing to be ashamed about, but you certainly know when you've hit a nerve.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
and I hit a nerve with that. With that one, I'm
The naturopath,
blaming you, Richard.
yeah.
You set me up for that.
You good
I
on you,
did.
Richard. Thanks a lot.
What?
Setting her up. Yeah.
Set me up.
I set her up. I did.
Yeah, that's
I forwarded to Kate this naturopath on TikTok and
Far out.
release the Kraken.
You didn't even say anything. You just dropped it like a.
Have a look at this. That's all.
I'm just going to leave this here.
That's it.
I think that the thing that we take away from it is there's still so much work.
There's a lot of work.
that we in this space have to do, because it's really hard to get cut through.
I have had a number of people though say, especially on the Barbara O'Neill videos.
Maybe then just explain to all the listeners who Barbara O'Neill is.
So Barbara O'Neill is an Australian from the 70s. She's been at this.
She looks like she's from the 40s.
She is. And she, I think she started a nursing degree but didn't finish it. So
No
she
point.
actually has no qualifications whatsoever, but has been prolific in this herbal wellness space to the point where the HCCC have put a ban on her speaking about anything to do with healthcare in this country, which is why she now practices overseas. It appears mostly from Romania.
So how come we get all the TikToks and everything from her then if she's banned?
Because the internet's
Yes.
global.
Global, yeah. Now, she also won this year's Ben Spoon Award, Barbara O'Neill. Yeah.
Bless Barbara.
Bless Barbara.
That's beautiful.
But I mean,
Yay for Barbara!
but when we're talking about this sort of reach, I'm just using TikTok as the prime example, because it's, a lot of people are now on TikTok until they're not, until the next best thing comes along. But unfortunately, I've started to comment on things that I think are a bit dodgy. So what's my TikTok feed full of? Things that I find dodgy.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Yeah. There's a lot of work to do. Because
There is, but we have to keep doing it. Yeah.
And I hope you get your own podcast up, because your voice is very important.
Oh, thanks.
I don't. She's our latest reporter.
Yeah, that's right. Get lost, Kate.
Oh, thanks for having me.
That's our pleasure. That's our absolute pleasure.
All right. Well, for right now, ladies and gentlemen.
It is now time to introduce our next guest for the evening. It is skeptic and emergency physician Sue Ieraci.
For those of you listening, this is quite a feat to get up to the stage and.
Yep.
I've just done some contortions to find my way to the microphone.
Well done.
Well
And you've
done.
got a very fetching Christmas hat on.
I have
as
a
well.
Christmas hat that works really well on podcasts.
Now, Kate, if you want to chip in and chime in, you can direct your comments into the blue microphone over there. That'll be great. Hello, Sue.
Hello, Richard.
It's nice to have
And Annie.
Hello, Sue.
And in fact, you and I, Annie, were going to chat. We sort of ran out of time at the top of the show about Mind, Body, Wallet.
Yes, I have
Yes.
made the odd appearance there.
So what Richard is disparagingly referring to as the Mind, Body, Wallet Festival is the Mind, Body, Spirit Festival, which I was dragged along to by Richard and Kate recently, and it was devastatingly tiring. and I had to be scraped up off the floor after about 20 minutes from the shock.
But we scraped you off the floor and you kept going.
I did. I'm heroic.
Yes.
I'm absolutely heroic. But apparently Sue goes to them a lot.
I've only
This
been
is-
twice, but
Can you explain what they are? A mind, body, spirit festival.
they're basically trade shows for woo-woo. And what makes them entertaining
That's
for me
good.
is that there is a mixture of pseudo-scientific products and pseudo-healthcare and pseudo-psychics, but there's also an
Yoga
interesting
pants.
amount of art and craft and clothing, which always keeps me interested.
Well, we took Kate along with us to the last one, and she was given that's very attractive. She's wearing a T-shirt that says heavily meditated. Anyway, I'll leave you with that.
It should be
So,
medicated with the K.
it's a joke.
I know it's.
Thanks, Rich.
I can't work under these conditions.
No, you don't. You shouldn't have to.
But should I tell the adventure that we had at
yeah,
the
well,
other Mind
Well, I
Body
do, but I
Wallet
just
that
want to,
went
before you do that, if I can just revisit the moment where Kate was told with great confidence and certainty that she had no stem cells. And that was very problematic.
She's too sad to talk now. Look.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. He looked at me and said, "I can tell you've got no stem
Yeah.
cells."
Yeah, you could tell him. As soon as I met you, I knew that.
It's a bit rude.
It's just,
I thought you just read it on the front of her T-shirt.
but there, fortunately, there was something that he could sell you
Yes.
that would ameliorate the lack
was
of
a
stem
patch.
cell issue.
There was a
That's
patch.
Yeah, there's always a patch.
Yep.
Wasn't that a coincidence that he could both diagnose and sell the product?
And so
for
quickly,
that
Sue.
very
And so
condition?
quickly, yes.
So quickly. And so quickly. So sorry, Sue, I've interrupted with my
No,
Kate
there was
stem
an
cell story.
adventure on the day that I attended the festival. A young woman who was touring the festival with her mother collapsed to the ground in front of all
No
of
stem
the
cells or-
alternative
No stem cells.
in front of all the alternative healers.
Is
Who-
that true?
Who do you think they called for?
Is that actually
They
true?
actually
That's
went
true,
running
yeah,
to look
yeah.
for a doctor.
Yeah. Well, so I was with Sue and our friend Tim Ferguson, and we were
Yes.
looking around. Sue went off to look at a magic wand, or I don't know what you're looking at. And I was there chatting to somebody, and suddenly out of the corner of my eye there was a commotion. I went over, and this poor young lady was on the ground, sort of not knowing where she was, and people were worried. And I said to somebody, "Would you like me to get a doctor?"
Or a homeopath?
Or, no. And they said to me, yes. And I ran and Sue, I dragged her, come back. And I said, the irony is in a room full of homeopaths, Reiki healers, mystics, aura manipulators, they needed patches.
Yep.
They
Patch
needed a
purveyors,
doctor. They needed a doctor. Yeah.
And do you think that irony actually was lost on them?
I don't think it landed.
Yeah.
It's only a couple of us who found it amusing.
What did you have to do for her?
Reassure her and help her to get up without people making too much fuss.
Right.
Yeah.
What she was? She was.
I think she ate a crystal or something. I don't know.
I think her frequencies were unbalanced.
Yeah, I thought that. Yeah.
That will do it every time.
Yeah, every time. If
That's
you
why you've got no stem cells. Your frequencies are unbalanced.
Yeah. There's a patch for that. It's okay. Relax.
Now, let's quickly, there's a talking point that I put in the running order here, which was really interesting. There was a news item the other day, and I assume you would have seen that one, about no women aged under 25 were diagnosed with cervical cancer in Australia in 2021, which means the Gardasil vaccine is spectacularly successful. But there are still people out there claiming it is an agent of evil, it is killing people. But look at the results.
Yeah, it's astonishing.
spectacular.
And this is an area of real interest to me because it was originally that anti-vax organisation, the AVN, that got me interested in countering anti-vax information and got me into this community.
So just to explain, the AVN is the
Australian
misnamed
misnamed
Australian Vaccination Network.
Now they call themselves the Australian Vaccination Risks Network. For a while, they really hated us, the Australian skeptics, so they called themselves the Australian Vaccination Skeptics Network for a while.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Come on, whoa.
Cheeky.
Cheeky. And what they do is they promulgate these very serious anti-vax messages, do they not? As soon as this came up in the media about the eradication of cervical cancer, somebody just put lies. Lies. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting that because that was my first entry into this world, I've kept a close eye on anti-vaccination culture all around the world for quite a few years now. And Gardasil was a very interesting situation in that it was about young women and promiscuity. And so there was this whole moral outrage that surrounded the vaccine. And I don't know how many people have seen the YouTubes of very weird reactions in young American women who started to walk backwards or shake one arm, or there were very bizarre psychologically mediated responses in a lot of young women.
Walking backwards.
That was a famous example, yes, until the
Okay.
person was found at the shopping centre actually walking
Walking forwards. Ordering a latte.
It's
right?
like the people who claim that they could live on only air being caught coming out of McDonald's.
That's right.
Exactly.
But one of the other great things about HPV vaccine is it's an Aussie vaccine. It was our own scientists who developed it. And Australian teenagers are way too savvy to go fainting and walking backwards. In fact, most Australian teenagers have taken HPV vaccine without turning a hair.
What about the boys?
Well, obviously the boys are the vector of transmission. So
Are they
Australia
given the-
decided fairly early on that all teenagers now, including boys, are vaccinated.
Great idea.
Yeah, perfect.
Well, the proof is in the results.
That's right.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it is a real achievement.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting that, of course, it's going to be the right of politics that is going to resist these things, because what they want is virginal, pure girls, right?
And that's why the moral outrage was particularly strong in the States, because they've got that conservative religious culture.
Yeah, we
I
had a
think
little
Australians
bit of it here.
being so much more pragmatic.
Yeah.
We have a little of it, but
A
I
little
don't
of
think
it.
it's as exaggerated.
Now, the other point, and Kate, please chime in on this one too, is just for our audience, an understanding. We hear this all the time from the alt med practitioners, especially the naturopaths. They say they are holistic healers. They look at the whole body, not just the symptoms. And I know you had a TikTok on this the other day, I think.
Oh, I did a TikTok on it because I was really just saying that I think that GPs were the pioneers of holistic care,
Indeed.
really. They're the ones that know your pet's name and your allergies and your blood pressure and your, they really are looking at the whole person, and I'm just not sure how that messaging hasn't stuck there but has been absolutely co-opted by this wellness space.
And the other point that really occurred to me the other day is that I've heard so many times, Western medicine, they call it, it's not Western, it's science-based medicine, is only really good at surgical conditions and acute emergencies. And my response to that is, if all the alternatives are so good, why are they so hopeless at surgical procedures and emergencies?
Yes, it's so
How
right.
can you have a system of medicine that can't actually cope with the most life-threatening things?
Yeah.
It's also wrapped up, isn't it, in the appeal to nature bias. You know,
Definitely.
the word itself, natural,
natural,
naturopath,
Naturopath.
the notion that just onions, as long as you don't eat them, can cure things. It's like, things out of the ground. It's all this very natural, except weirdly, which is not natural, but they all want to seem to take horse paste.
Yes.
Right? The ivermectin thing really confused me. Like, what's with it? It's like they're still talking about the fact that ivermectin, which is it's for horses, isn't it?
It's a human drug, but it's an anti-helminth or worm medication or severe scabies.
But that's not natural.
It's not natural.
So how come it got a special
It's
hat?
a pharma product.
Yeah.
Well, I think it. So I don't know. So you may have an opinion on this, but I think what happened was you're so desperate when you get a cancer diagnosis, right? You're you're so desperate, and then there have been these anecdotes of people trying different things and promoting their healing journey, and people have just latched onto it, and so
and then it spread, do you think, through the community, the ivermectin
and
thing?
then COVID,
I
I think really heightened the skepticism of Western medicine, and because that was like a crisis in real time, wasn't it? That was the world dealing with a crisis in real time, and then ivermectin and just really came to the fore, and now it's really popular. It seems
really popular.
Yeah.
It is still really
Every
popular,
cooker post, someone is recommending in the comments that the person wraps their feet seriously in
fembendazole.
onions and has ivermectin
Same
for
to you.
everything.
For essentially any condition.
For absolutely
I
any
also
condition.
see it as part of the rebellion against Big Pharma and the man, which is ironic because it is a big pharma product.
What was it, Kate? The big wellness is far more lucrative.
Oh,
Oh,
way.
yeah.
Way.
Well, I think I said last time that it was big wellness has got the earning capacity of Big Pharma and the GDP of Japan.
Wow.
That's how much bigger it is than
Without the R&D of Big Pharma.
without the R&D.
And that's the other thing, the appeal to nature bias then masks the reality that a lot of these untested vitamins and supplements, it can actually be quite dangerous, yes?
Can be quite dangerous. I mean, the TGA has just last week put a warning on vitamin B6.
Yep.
But I think also people fail to. I mean, people are always saying that Big Pharma, make so much money because I don't know, whatever tablets cost 0 cents to make, but they sell them at large profits. And of course, that's partly true. But the first tablet cost them hundreds and millions of dollars. I mean, the second tablet might have cost them 20 cents.
That is such a good frame up. The first tablet, for all the research and all the work, cost them millions.
Millions and millions.
Such a fantastic, I like that frame up.
And by the time they get
I'll be
to
using that.
You're
When they
welcome.
get to the successful one, they've already tested 20 others that didn't make it to market because they didn't work.
Yep.
All right. Well, for
Absolutely.
the moment, for this section of the show, thank you, Sue Ieraci, indeed.
Thank you, Sue.
Welcome back to the Occidental Hotel for part 2 of the live recording of the Wise Smart Women Zone. Now it is time to introduce our third guest for tonight. It is the President of Australian Skeptics, Jessica Singer.
Get off.
Tim Mendham.
Tim Mendham heckling in the audience.
Good Lord.
You'll get yours, mate. You just wait.
You will.
Hello.
Thank you, Lara. Thank you, Lara.
Hello, Jessica.
Hello, Jessica.
Hello, Richard, and hello, Annie.
Hello, it's exciting, isn't
It
it?
is exciting. It's lovely to be here.
Whose hat is that, by the way? Oh, yeah.
Put it, Kate.
Kate, put your hat back.
Kate took her Santa hat off. It's illegal. It's close to Christmas. Good Lord. Do go on. Sorry,
Sorry
Kate.
about that.
Kate really threw us all by the
She
Santa
did.
hat issue, but we're over that now.
Jessica Singer, the President of Australian Skeptics for 5 years.
I can't remember.
Well, I don't know.
How did you?
Wow.
I'd like to know how you got that position. Was there greasing of palms or?
Oh, just. Tim said, ugh. No, look, just absolute corruption.
Yeah, good.
Totally.
That's good.
Absolutely. And I have to say, Richard has been president twice.
Have you, Richard?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
He greased a few palms.
Yeah, clearly.
But it's an interesting job to be the president. There's a lot of, like any committee, you have a lot of committee things to deal with and to think about.
Are people annoying on the committee? Because I hate committees because of that.
Tim,
Did you want to say
Tim's
something?
raising his hand.
Yeah,
No,
Tim's
no.
annoying.
Tim's volunteering for the chief annoyance officer.
he's the annoyance officer in the committee. He annoys us all the time. That's right.
I think
yeah.
our committee's pretty good.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Pretty good. I think partly because it's by invitation only, and before getting invited to join, people have to prove themselves, because it's a committee can be really ruined by conflict.
I know.
and eccentricity. So we don't mind.
Well, I think
eccentricity.
agendas. I think unspoken agendas.
Unspoken
are
agendas,
mainly what ruin
Yeah.
collaborative enterprise, don't you think?
Yes, and not forgetting the legalities of it. We are an incorporated association. We have a constitution. People have to really put their agendas and their egos aside and think about what is best for the organisation. Because at law, when you join a committee, there is a contract between every committee and the organisation, and you have certain duties to fulfil.
And there are legal requirements you have to have as a body doing things, especially when you have balances and bank accounts and this and that. So there's a lot more to it.
So I wonder if this sort of collegial atmosphere that you seem to have, that, you know, because honestly, I've spent a lot of time working in the corporate sector and trying to help people have more functional teams, and it's very, very difficult.
Oh, tell me about it. The
Yeah,
corporate
right,
sector.
right,
I know.
right.
I know, because people are people.
People, but I wonder
People.
if perhaps your purpose, the sense that you're very purposeful, has perhaps ameliorated some of that conflict. I don't know. It's interesting.
I think so, because it's not a job. It's not an employment situation in a company. People are there because they believe in what we do. So people are self-selecting.
And what do you do?
What
do the Australian skeptics do?
Barbecues.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been to one recently.
You have?
Yeah.
Shop
It was
wheels,
a-
pub,
yeah,
Pubs.
yeah.
skeptics
Get in
in
the
the pub,
pub,
drinking,
Yeah, good, yeah.
getting thrown out of Mind Body Wallet.
Yeah.
Getting thrown out.
Thank you, Ian. You're here.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think escorted out of the venue by security simply for asking questions.
Questions. Simply for doing
You're not
that.
allowed to question
Wow.
things at Mind Body Wallet.
Well,
No.
Kate, next year you and I can aim to be thrown out.
All right, game on.
What about me? How come I'm getting left out of the throwing out experience?
You were in a puddle on
Because
the
you're in
floor.
the
I wasn't. I can't do it
on the
again.
floor. Yeah.
I can't do it again. I'm
But,
sorry.
but back to what this
Yeah, what do you do?
Australian skeptics. So we, as I think Richard said earlier, we investigate pseudoscientific and paranormal claims from an evidence-based scientific perspective.
Unpack that. What does that mean for people that have maybe never had any experience with the skeptical organisation? What do you mean?
I like Tim Mendham's example. If somebody says, I can fly, we say, show me. Prove it.
Prove it.
So I'm a psychic. I know
scientific.
what's going to happen in your future, right? For instance.
Well, that's pretty testable, because I hopefully have a future. So if you want to write down your predictions, we can see whether they come true, or
So,
whether
right.
you have better than probability.
But we're also there as a general committee to chat to the general public and the media. The media come to us every now and then for comment. And
About what?
Well, anything from the latest psychic to the latest UFO fad, flap, sometimes about alternative medicine. And it's good to know that there is at least people of our way of thinking, scientific, rational people who are there ready to offer an opinion. And not just, I think this is the case, an opinion based on lots of research and sound science.
Although we do have to be fairly tactical about it. I remember, 10, 15 years ago, when the AVN was at its height.
So just to remind everyone that's listening, the AVN is the Australian Vaccination Network.
Well, they were
misnamed.
Misnamed. They were actually the anti-vaxxers.
Yes.
But it was a very considered decision, because also in the media at that time, there was this focus on, the media, we need to get balance in all our stories. So if they had an anti-vaxxer on, they would invite us on to provide balance. And at the time we made the decision, no, we are not going to go on and give these people
Credibility.
oxygen. and credibility by debating them, because they'd get 5 minutes, we'd get 30 seconds.
False equivalence.
False
False
equivalence.
is just the most damaging principle, is it not?
Yeah, and slowly but surely the message got through to the media not to give these people airtime. And
Yeah, I think so.
A couple of journalists were
Except for
very,
Sky
very-
News, right?
Oh, yeah, sorry. But I mean, a couple of journalists were really helpful. I think Steve Kinane.
Yes.
He's awesome, Steve.
He's awesome. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. So yes, we do provide media commentary, but in a very considered way.
Yeah. And of course, the thing about a considered response in terms of that false equivalence, it's often not as interesting as some sort of febrile narrative, right? That just with full of promise and magic and, I don't know, patches.
Absolutely.
Onions.
It's dead boring being scientific and commonsensical.
And is that part of the problem, Jessica?
possibly? I mean, I think it's fun, but then hey,
But you're a lawyer.
I'm a lawyer. That's right. That's why my partner, who many of you good old Hatters, you'll remember,
Lovely.
lovely chat. My partner and I, we got involved in skepticism, partly because it had nothing to do with law.
Is that right? Is that partially what motivated you?
It was something different for both of us. And Martin Hurd, this was back in the early 90s, and
Because he was very present and a very big part of the whole
I'll tell you,
movement.
he was
He was also president.
he actually occupied every single office on the committee at one stage.
Yes.
He started out as secretary, then he was president, and then he moved over to treasurer. So he was he was a mainstay of the organisation for many years, and a great sounding board. Yeah.
And what do
great
you think, as you sort of look into the future, what do you think are the really important things that the skeptics have to start to get a handle on, grapple with and counter?
Oh, look, I think... And
Is that a horrible question? Should I written into it? Yeah.
It's a hard question, because I think we are in a stage where we have to really, really look at that. We've had big changes this year with Tim, our editor and executive officer, retiring.
Stop talking about Tim, honestly. It's all about Tim.
Tim.
All about
All
Tim.
night.
His head, he can barely get out the door.
My goodness.
Good Lord. Go on.
And the very difficult and quite sad decision to stop publishing the hard copy of the magazine.
I loved
which
the
was-
magazine, Tim.
It was
I
such
miss
a
it.
great resource, great product, such a great example of what we're all about. And it's a podcast, Sue.
No, I thought that was a fire. That was a fire alarm.
Bless you, Sue.
I think somebody's dinner was ready.
Sue's
I
got
thought
a whole lot
but-
of magazines on her lap, and she's desperate to show them on the podcast.
Yes, but even though you can't subscribe to the hard copies anymore, they are all online. All online, listeners.
that's right.
And we have a storage room full of them.
So the future is what?
The future is what? The future is firstly putting out more online content, because that's where it is.
Yep.
And future is keep going.
Yeah,
Because,
agree.
What we do is definitely necessary,
Critical.
important, relevant. We have the challenges of the fact that information these days, thanks to the internet, is so dispersed into
it's
different
terrible.
groups. It's really hard. I mean, again, when Martin and I originally joined the Skeptics, it was all mainstream media. There was no internet. It was, whereas things are so dispersed and fractured into different groups these days. I think, from what Sue said, particularly in Australia, Australians are pretty pragmatic, and I think they'd consider themselves pretty sceptical naturally, and don't naturally gravitate to.
Do you think
groups
there's a
like
difference
ours.
between the Australian cultural psyche and the Americans?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Thank God for that, right? Right.
Well, I mean, I've been thinking about this for the last couple of weeks and been actually quite heartened how on, again, mainstream radio, we'll put Sky News aside, but mainstream radio, how many science-based and skeptical topics are dealt with. I mean, to Nicole Rogerson
Yep.
talking about
Autism.
autism
Yeah.
and the importance of evidence-based autism.
Are you saying it's not caused by Tylenol? Jessica, please.
You could be right.
That's right. I'm definitely right. I had Michael Marshall on.
Marsh, yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
who's
good on- yeah,
from
Marsh.
the Merseyside Skeptics.
Merseyside, yeah.
And he, just to go back to your point about the spreading information in the internet age, and he was saying if you went into the pub 25 years ago and said the moon landing didn't happen, vaccines cause autism or whatever, right? Someone would go, give it a rest, John, right?
Donald Trump will be president.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Nobody would believe
No
it.
one
And it would
believe
get
me.
counted and you'd look like an idiot and
Yeah.
you'd stumble out and, fall in the snow and die. I don't know what's going to happen to you. That's probably a little bit dark, but anyway. But now, of course, you say that. Sorry, I keep hitting my hands on the table and I do apologise. Now what happens is you find your little group online that goes,
Yeah.
yeah, it's so true
Yeah.
about the no moon landing
Yeah.
thing. Right, so
Yeah.
it's different now. So I think our job is harder.
Our job is harder, and also it's so hard to gauge how large these little factions are and whether they matter. I mean, obviously, what we've seen in the States is these relatively small, ideologies take hold of the majority of the country. It's really scary. I wouldn't have thought that.
RFK, who knew?
Who
Who
knew?
knew?
Who knew?
Who knew?
He knew.
He-
He knew. Sadly.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you, Jessica, for the moment, but
Oh, thank you,
there's
Richard, and
something.
thank you, Annie.
Oh, thank you, indeed. But there's something else we should mention, I think, Jessica.
What?
I
What is
think
it, Richard?
So too.
Something we should mention.
Something we should mention. It's very exciting.
Yes.
Do
You
mention
can
it
mention
then.
it.
Oh, I can mention it, can I? Okay.
Mention the thing.
Right.
It's the thing. It's the thing.
Well, I mentioned earlier our former editor and executive officer, Tim.
Oh, him again.
He's frowning at me.
Again.
Who retired this year. And at our annual convention, which was in Melbourne this year in October, we awarded Tim not only life membership for his wonderful, wonderful work, his fantastic professional job editing The Skeptic, dealing with the Skeptics Committee, which must have driven him insane.
It did.
It did. But yeah, he's going off for a rest cure now, and we also honoured his lovely wife Hilda,
Hilda, everybody. Hello.
Yay, Hilda!
who for so many years did the design and layout of our magazine for free, and made it into something of which we could be truly, truly
A
proud.
very good design.
Fantastic.
Excellent. Yeah, excellent.
It's fantastic.
So, not only did we give Tim life membership, or is it a life sentence? It's not forgetting he ran away from home at the age of 4 to join the Skeptics.
That's right, he did.
Very young. Then he had a short hiatus and came back, and he's been in his current position for 18 years, is it? Almost 18 years. But we also, in recognition of Tim's contribution to the skeptical movement, gave him a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yay!
Yay, Tim.
Rest of life.
Rest.
So, because I didn't take this down to Melbourne, but we've actually now organised this trophy for him.
Tim,
Oh, it's okay.
you get one.
Okay, so because it's a podcast and we can't see this, please describe it.
It's
Please
a-
describe it.
It's an orgon pyramid.
To be inserted.
To be
Ooh, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I can feel the energy.
Ladies,
I feel better.
I can see on the wonderful base there's a little picture on the other side,
Oh.
Tim.
it's you.
Yeah. And
Oh, they
I
used to be.
yeah, and I think did we put the picture there so that we didn't have to worry about
So I knew-
misspelling your name?
So I knew who it was. So, ladies and gentlemen, a warm applaud for Tim Benham, who did a sterling job.
Thank you, Tim. Awesome, Tim. That's enough about you now, Tim. Off you go.
Bye.
Bye-bye then. It's been really great.
When Barry Williams retired, and then shortly thereafter, it wasn't too long, some months after Tim came along, and he was just the right person at the right time. Not only was he a good editor, and I've written a lot for the magazine, but I couldn't have done it without Tim editing what the rubbish I wrote and turning it into something. But he also is that rare fellow in the skeptical movement, or the rare person who has the skeptical knowledge of all sorts of topics. And so when the press ring up and say anything from Bigfoot to UFOs to how does this psychic do it, Tim could answer them on the spot.
Tim
and
is
that is a
awesome.
rare thing indeed. So well done, Tim.
I make it up.
You make it up.
Shh, Tim, no.
We knew you did.
All right.
Yes.
So, you have been listening to the Why Smart Women Zone podcast. Thank you to our guests and live audience here at Sydney Skeptics in the Pub. You can find out more about this and future events at meetup.com/Ost Skeptics. I'm Lara Benham, and for now it is good night from the Occidental Hotel.
Make it quick because I need my dinner.
Yeah, so it is getting a little bit late, but we do have time for a few questions if anyone has any. If we can please keep it to actual questions, I'm sure people will be happy to talk to you afterwards if you have statements.
Hi, you mentioned not wanting to give statements to the media to, deny the other side a platform, and that you thought the media was getting the idea that anti-vaxxers were all crazy, and you used the word cooker at one point. Well, I used to work at Daily Mail, and our editor did in fact tell all the people at Daily Mail, make anybody who brings their anti-vax stories to our newspaper sound crazy. And it was caught on video and it was released. And I'd like to say that just like every other journalist, I always had the assumption that people who were complaining about vaccines were also, a bit crazy and they're a miracle of science. But don't you think you should also question your assumptions? Because that was tested for 2.5 months. It's a medical product just like any other. And because we all had that assumption, we silenced and censored the voices of people who were actually injured by mRNA and DNA-based genetic vaccines. And as a result of that assumption, a lot of people were injured and some people actually died. So I think for you to sit up there and be very self-satisfied about crushing out the other side, the basis of science is to question assumptions and to base your opinions on evidence. It's not to silence the other side. So a lot of people were vaccine injured because of that assumption, because media houses did exactly what you said. Do you think that's a good idea? Are you going to do that in future? Make sure that you crush out the other side, you never examine your assumptions? Did you ever examine your assumptions? Did you ever read RFK's book?
Yes, we did.
Did you ever? Or do you just sit there and say nothing? I know people who died because of that vaccine. A lot of people died because of the mRNA and DNA genetic vaccines that were repurposed genetic therapies, if you bothered to research it,
I have,
which you obviously haven't.
Yes, I have. You're wrong.
It's all right.
Really? Well, there's a doctor living just up the road, Professor Robert Clancy, and he's just published a book on it. And he pioneered immunology in Australia. He's a emeritus professor from Newcastle University. He knows a bit about immunology, and he's written about how the mRNA vaccines have caused problems.
Do you have a question? Because
Yeah,
you're making a
why are you
statement.
so self-satisfied? Why do you call other people cookers? Why do you deplatform people? This is not science. You are a shame on skepticism. You're not real skeptics. And do you know what? I corresponded with Rob T. Carroll of the Skeptics Dictionary in the 90s. I walked up Machu Picchu with Richard Dawkins, so I won't be told I'm a cooker by people like you. You're a bloody disgrace to skepticism.
I've been called worse.
Thank you.
The worst I was called was an asshole on the pimple of time. Once by a correspondent. Any other questions? While we're at it?
Answer the question.
The answer to the question is there are some people out there in the anti-vaccination brigade. We earnestly struggle to understand their thinking. It is often based on arrant nonsense, magical thinking, whimsy.
Vaccines are a product, they're not a miracle, okay? They're a product like a car is a product or a bus is a product. You're the magical thinkers. You think nothing can be wrong with it because it's got the magical word vaccine. The genetic vaccines were repurposed gene therapies and they've never before been used as daily in people.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any more questions?
Another question?
There you go.
You're the reason my neighbour's kid can't play sport because he's got a damaged heart.
I'm the
Your
reason.
attitude got into the newsrooms and we dismissed everybody.
Should we close it?
Yeah.
Just edit that out. Can we,
Oh, will we? Well, I've recorded it on my audio, so everybody
Please use it.
please feel
Yeah,
free to use it.
I'm sure there's a podcast. Would love to hear from you.
Yeah, there will be.
Any other questions?
Any other questions?